That's right, more to come. Thanks for sticking with us here on this Friday. I'm Steve McCarron.
And I'm Tyrah Majors. We begin this half hour with our Friday Dollars and Cents segment. Water beads, those tiny colorful pellets that expand in water, are now subject to federal safety standards if they're sold as toys.
Water beads have injured thousands of children and are blamed for at least one death. ConsumerMan Herb Weisbaum is a contributing editor at checkbook.org. He's here to explain how the new federal regulations should protect children. Those regulations just took effect yesterday.
So Herb, there are various ways kids can get hurt playing with water bead toys, right?
Yeah, there are. But before we get to that, let's make sure we know that everyone understands what we're talking about. Water beads are these colorful little pieces of polymer that can expand exponentially when they're put in water, and that's what makes them so cool for kids to play with. And that's part of the problem. They're about the size of ice cream sprinkles or sometimes peas when they start out, but they can grow to the size, in some cases, of a grape or even a golf ball. And take a look at this video right here. This is from Consumer Reports. This shows you how much they can expand. They started out about the size of a Cheerio and wound up just under the size of a golf ball. So imagine what happens when a child swallows the ball. It goes down real easily, and then it either blocks the airway, or if it gets past the airway, it can block intestinal blockage, which requires surgery. So that's the problem. The way kids can hurt themselves are they can swallow these things, which I just told you about. They also tend to put them in their ear or put them in their nose where they expand. And in the ear, there are actually been kids who have permanent hearing loss because of the water bead getting down into the ear canal, expanding and causing permanent hearing loss. There's been one death, as you said. An infant died from water beads. We've been covering this. I did my first warning in 2023, and there's been great pressure on Congress to act. Congress didn't do anything. But the Consumer Product Safety Commission finally, as of yesterday, this new rule is now in effect.
What does this new rule do to address the problem, Herb?
Well, it does three things, Steve. First of all, it limits the size, how large the water bead can expand. It is limited to 5 millimeters. And that's important because if it gets bigger than that, that's when it causes the choking hazard or the intestinal blockage. So if the bead can't get any bigger than 5 millimeters, it basically eliminates that problem. It requires strongly worded warning labels that are conspicuous so people can see them, warning them about the potential danger. And it limits the amount of acrylamide. That is a toxic chemical that is in these water beads, suspected carcinogen that can no longer be more than a certain level in these products. One person I talked to, one mother, this is a neurotoxin acrylamide, and her daughter actually survived the surgery and then had brain damage, they believe, caused by the acrylamide in the water bead. So it takes care of these three things.
And just to be clear, the CPSC did not outright ban water beads as toys, as some consumer groups had wanted to, right?
That's really important. Yes, water beads can still be sold as toys if they meet these requirements, number one. And number two, they can still be sold, which is how they were developed 15, 20 years ago. They became toys, but way before that, they were used in plants to keep the plants moist. They can still be sold for that, to keep your plants moist. But for toys, they have to meet these new standards, which will hopefully help eliminate the problem.
And this is not a recall, Herb. Why is that an important distinction here?
It's important, Steve, because there are going to be no notices, no news stories about water bead toys have been recalled. There have been recalls over the years. Many water bead problems have been recalled after children were hurt, but it's not an overall recall. So the ones that are still in daycare centers or people's homes, they may not get it may not hit them, and that this has got to be thrown away because there's not a recall notice. That's very, very important. These things are dangerous if you have them in your house. If you see them at your daycare center, tell the daycare center if you have them at home, get rid of them.
Yeah, you better get rid of those. So for your checkbook story, you actually spoke to a mother who almost lost her toddler to water beads.
Yeah, Ashley Haugen, she lives in San Antonio, Texas, and she was really careful with these products. You see her there with her daughter, Kipley. She, and that's Kipley grown up, but Kipley was an infant at the time. The older daughter was playing with the water beads, separate room. They knew there was a potential danger of small parts. There was no warning label whatsoever about the expansion hazard, and somehow these things transfer all over the house. They're like little bouncing beads all over the place. Kipley found one of them in the rug and swallowed them. because these things don't necessarily show up on x-rays, the doctor had no idea what was wrong, but said, I got to do surgery to find out what's causing this blockage. And that's when they found the water beads that Kipley had ingested, and the water beads then expanded. They were able to save her, but as I said, because this is a potential neurotoxin, she has long-term damage to brain injury damage again, the product, by the way, and that's a very important point why I pointed out the Haugans. They thought it was safe because it said on the product, it said non-toxic. This was a toxic chemical in a non-toxic product. Turns out the CPSC says non-toxic is not regulated. It's about as useful as saying natural. It doesn't mean anything. So if you see a product that says non-toxic, realize, and I didn't even know that until I started doing the story, non-toxic, unregulated doesn't mean anything. It's just one of those things that make you feel better about buying the product.
Oh my gosh, Herb, just seeing that photo of the little child there just pulls at your heartstrings. We know that most water bead toys sold in America are actually made in China. So is this new rule going to keep these Chinese imports from making it to market here?
Sure hope so, but you know, there's a possibility that all these products that have already been manufactured are going to be shipped over and dumped here. Also, people who buy now directly from websites that are based overseas may actually, you know, they could be sent here and hopefully customs would catch them, but that's a lot of stuff to catch. They may not catch them all. Thankfully, when the story broke about 2023, the big guys, Amazon, Walmart, Michaels, decided not to carry this anymore. They got so much pressure from consumer groups. So I don't think we have to worry, hopefully, about the big guys, but it's the smaller websites or people who are buying directly from China that may be able to buy these toys still. Please don't do that. Don't put your kids at risk.
So helpful to know, Herb. So where can we read more?
You'll find the full story, a lot more details, and also that video that you showed of the time-lapse expansion, which I hope parents will look at and realize the danger. Just go to checkbook.org. You'll find it all right there.
Alarming to see those expand so quickly. Herb, thanks for the warning this morning. Appreciate it.
See you next week.
See you